live.
Give me a second.
We still haven't got the intro music thing sorted out. I'm still working on that. But that's all good. Right. Are you on there, Mr. Lee?
I'm not. What would you like to write down for words? What are you writing?
Well, this will be the Expanse RPG.
I actually might just steal... If yours is on YouTube now, is it running?
It is, yep.
Because I can just steal your words.
Okay.
Rando stream, the Expanse RPG. Oh, hello.
I need to start adding counters and, yeah. We'll get there. I'll get there eventually. I've put very little time in this week. It has been quite a busy last 2 weeks. Okay, let's go. Right. Are you good and live there, Mr. Lee?
I'm now streaming. I'm just waiting for it to send data, but yeah, it's pretty much on.
Nice. I have my tea and I don't have a cat on me today.
Yet.
True, that is a yet. Okay. You all good there?
My dog walked in. Oh, he's walked in again.
Ah.
He walked in just now and looked at me and walked out again.
Hello, Barney.
He's off again. Oh, no. Yeah, he's off again.
Cool. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Rando stream. We've had a few weeks off with many adventures happening. Sickness, a couple of storms, all sorts of fun. How's it going up in Hawke's Bay for you there, Mr. Lee?
I'm sat in shorts and t-shirt.
Yeah, it is hot today, isn't it?
It's really hot. Yeah, it's hot and blustery today.
Wow. Well,
it's that kind of, that spring kind of thing that happens.
Yep.
Where the wind picks up. The El Nino or Nanino, what it's called?
El Nino?
There's two, isn't it?
El Nino.
And there's two, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the difference between them.
No, one's got a different name to the other.
It is, yes. But yes, we've had horribly dry wind, but I can see a black cloud, and every now and then I can see a large rain spot coming out of the window. Yeah.
No, we've had this is really good sheet drying weather. Sheets out and dry in this weather. It's just hot and windy, so it's perfect for
it. It would be absolutely perfect for that. Unfortunately, I got them all done yesterday.
I know, I did all my washing yesterday too. My mate was like, yeah, I did 3 loads yesterday. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. I went for a big walk this morning to a calf, which was quite cool.
Oh, nice.
For a wander. Yeah, took the dog out, wore the dog out. Dog was like, no, I'm not interested. It's too hot now, I'm done. So he was just sleeping.
I got a nice... Yep, sorry.
No, I just took him out quickly before the podcast.
Ah, sweet. He would have loved
20
that.
minutes, half an hour. He just went for a run around, sniffed on some stuff.
Yeah.
I was happy enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a nice laser pointer, so I've been tuckering my cat out, making him run one end of the house to the other. And within about 10 minutes, he's on his side. He's going...
Yep. Stop now, please.
Yes. But he knows about it. As soon as I hold the pointer in my hand, he instantly, his ears perk up, his tail starts swishing. He goes... the cat wailing.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so he actually knows it, which is interesting. Not what I expected. Sure. Yeah. Right, well, today, not today, actually 2 weeks ago, Green Ronin sent me something rather interesting.
One question for you before we start. I haven't got a login, I don't believe. I don't know if it's changed.
No, I did send it to you on Discord. I sent you all the artwork and that stuff on Discord.
I don't see the login there. Oh, yes, I do. It's hidden between the two pictures.
Yes, sorry. I updated one of the pictures.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay, cool.
So I'll let you log in. So yes, they sent me a thing. Now, with the Green Ronin Modern Age, as you know, there are no classes. Completely, you can do whatever you want. But what they have are specializations, which kind of work as a subclass. And the main book is full of them. However, they are releasing a series which are new specializations every 2 months or so. And it comes with a 15-page PDF. It comes with new backgrounds and stuff that you can, help you create this character. It comes with new tools to use and all that sort of stuff. And with Starfield coming up, I thought we could actually have a good look at this. So they sent it. It was a good birthday present. I woke up with a nice email from Troy showing me all of this new stuff. And I looked and thought, wow, this will be cool for Starfield. So if we go, I will actually share it with you. We go to Expanse RPG, and I will show the players, and I will show everybody else. So professions, let's not go professions. It always does that. That's one annoying thing that it does. Anyway, so we have 3 professions that we can go with. We now have the bounty hunter, the planetary surveyor, and the scout, which scouts for new planets. And all 3 of them are basically builds you can do in Starfield. In fact, I'm going to planetary surveyor.
You keep saying stuff, but it's actually the Expanse.
No, I'm talking about Starfield, the new Bethesda game.
This is Expanse.
Yes.
That they're giving you the rules for, basically.
That is correct. Yeah. So what I was thinking is this would be awesome for us to merge the 2 together and make some sort of... I mean, other than the jump drive, which the Expanse has... the Expanse doesn't have FTL travel. It has the big ring system, which has 20-something thousand or 12,000 different worlds or different systems to explore. It kind of just opens you up into all sorts. And that's how these things came along. So planetary... Oh, sorry, I'm burping a bit. I've just had some skitty bolognese.
Quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. So planetary surveyor will basically let you scan planets, scan for the fauna and flora, and find worlds and find locations that are habitable for human colonization. And yeah, I thought we could just start exploring a bit of this sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, because it feels Starfield-y to me.
Yes. And as our world is based in Starfield currently.
Yeah. At about 8 o'clock, once I've gotten the kids ready for bed, I load up Starfield, and then it's about 11:30. I turn it off and crawl myself to bed.
You're just like, one more thing.
One more thing. I've just got that one last little tree to find and scan. Just got that base to finish perfecting.
You're doing the exploring way of playing then?
I can't go to a planet without trying to first 100% it, then I do the mission on the planet.
That's a problem. Okay.
It is a huge problem. There are some planets that are 98%, and I've got some sort of extremely rare creature that I still have to scan 2 of or something like that, and it's driving me nuts. Sorry, I've been a bit crook and I've still got a cough.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So
I'm playing I'm side track questing it, side missioning it.
I've
done the Vanguard quests. I've done the secret outpost quests and stuff like that.
Oh, I haven't heard of that quest line.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm just starting the Vanguard quest. I was doing the quest with the Crimson Fleet.
So is that completable or is it broken?
For my game, it's completely broken. The only way to fix it is start a new game plus or start a whole new character.
So where's it breaking? Because I'm doing it currently.
Okay, so
should I stop and leave it alone?
No, do it. But after a big bank heist, I won't tell you how it goes or anything.
I've just gone and got all the information for the bank.
Okay, so do the big heist. Then you get a mission to find a spike.
The decoding spike, you think?
Yes.
Com spike.
Yes. The quest breaks if you follow, is it Navia? Follow the chick from the meeting with the head of the Crimson Fleet to the ship.
Neva, yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes,
so it goes to the ship location, the shipbuilder for the Crimson Fleet, and starts talking. Well, they were talking, and just standing there, and the icon wasn't pinging up for me, so I went and done something else. But the break is if you leave, while they are talking, if you leave the zone at all, the quest won't be continuable. You can't force it, you can't do anything.
Okay. So what's the workaround then? Is there a workaround?
On PC, use console commands and basically just jump to the next stage of the quest. Some people have lucked out. If you go to the well, there is a person you can talk in there, which will be the next contact, and sometimes she will just continue the mission. Other than that, there's no workaround. There's absolutely
So should I
nothing.
stop then? Should I stop and walk away from this mission and say
No, just make sure once you get the mission to talk to the two of them, you wait for the little blue pip to appear to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you talk to them. As soon as you talk to them, that's it. You can go do whatever. But if you don't talk to them and then leave the zone, it breaks.
Cool. Okay, I think I'm about to do the bank heist now. So
okay, that was so fun. I'm trying to do the super peaceful way, not actually killing anyone, and I managed to pull it off without a single death.
Oh, see, I might have killed people when I went to go and get the information off the starship.
Nope, I haven't had to kill anybody.
I decided to kill, what's his face?
The guy from the bank, the leader of the bank.
Guy?
Yeah.
No, the dodgy guy. Yeah, I tried to kill him. I was like, all right, I don't like you. You're a horrible man.
I didn't kill anyone. However, the ship captain that lets you onto the bank, he can rejoin the Crimson Fleet. And I said, no, fire him out of an airlock. He's useless. So I didn't kill anyone, but he's gone.
That's really mean. I let him join.
No, he annoyed me.
I don't know, but I thought he'd annoy somebody else so I could bring him along. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, but also if you throw him out of an airlock, you don't need to pay him. And you're not the one killing him. It's the Crimson Fleet. He shouldn't have joined the pirates. That's my way of doing it.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Did you notice, though, you know the thing that you pick up for her? This has gone to stifle this game, but hey. If you pick up that thing that she wants for you, it's actually worth 65,000 credits.
It is.
If you hand it into her, she gives you 3,000.
Yes. I was tossing up whether to just ignore the quest line and sell it.
Yeah, well, you can lie to her and say, no, I didn't get it, sorry.
You can, and I have got my persuasion up to full, so maybe I should have done that.
Yes. No, it's not even persuasion, it's just a lie in brackets next to what you say.
I thought it would be a persuasion test, so I didn't click it.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, wow. Okay. I should have got that, but...
Persuasion says persuasion in brackets, doesn't it?
It does too, yeah. Okay.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's quite an interesting game. Like, you can just play.
Yeah.
I like how you can play differently. I was really good up until that point. And I thought if I punched the guy a few times, I'm not going to shoot my gun. The alarms won't go off. But then Sarah decided to start shooting.
Oh, no.
So Sarah had to kill everybody on the ship.
I don't remember. Maybe I didn't do it with a companion. I don't like sneak missions and missions like that with companions.
It's not a sneak mission. It's just like you stood there talking to the guy. He gives you the information.
Yeah, but, well, an RP mission. Like, I use Cole as my companion on the field.
Ah, so you've only got one companion.
Well, no, I only use him. He's the only one. I've got 2 people on a base. Oh, you're cutting out there. Nope, you're back. I've got 2 people on a base, 3 people in my ship, and I found Cole doesn't have to be a ship member for him to be able to join you. So technically 4, plus his daughter makes it 5 on the ship.
See, I've got nobody following me except Sarah. No other followers.
Okay. Yeah, Sarah got boring after a while. Cole has some pretty cool stories about his time in the Rangers, and he's a good shot.
Where did you get him from?
The Vanguard missions, isn't it? Or is it the Vanguard? No.
Can you change them, can you?
The Rangers, sorry. I joined the Rangers.
Ah, see, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, in the main quest line, you have to go and find something in the Free Star Alliance. I think that's what it's called. You work, if you do the bank heist mission, not the bank heist as in on the ship, there's a bunch of shore robbers, whatever, from the gang shore that are trying to do a bank robbery, and they got caught, so they've got hostages. If you talk them down, then the mayor of the city is impressed and tells you to go join the Rangers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've joined it, and he is following me around from that.
I've done that mission.
Yeah, no, I'm becoming a bounty hunter sort of thing, which ties into these ones that I was, And basically these trades of the Expanse: bounty hunter, planetary surveyor, and scout. 3 different classes you can build in Starfield. So, did you want to go over these? Otherwise, we'll just talk. This won't be a RPG thing for that. It'll be a Starfield chat. And I think that's, Thursday?
Wednesday. Yep.
Wednesday. So, which one would you like to go with first? Bounty Hunter, Planetary Surveyor, or Scout?
Well, let's just start at the top.
Okay, Bounty Hunter it is. Right, so Trades of the Expanse, Bounty Hunter. We have a nice title page. A bit of lore. So bounty hunting, bounty hunting and placing bounties on individuals. It's legal under Earth and Martian law to a point. A lot depends on the target, why they're wanted, who they're wanted by, and what's expected of the bounty hunter. Generally speaking, it's legal to place a bounty on someone who has committed a crime in order to see they are brought to justice, which essentially means posting a reward for an action leading to their arrest. However, it is illegal to kill people, but that hasn't stopped my crew. They've taken a few bounties. They have, this is in my personal RPG that were run from home. They've taken a few bounties, but a lot of the time the bounties end up in one of the torpedo tubes and accidentally get fired from it. It seems to be a very big mistake that often happens.
It's really bad when people fall into torpedo tubes, isn't it?
It's very, very common.
They need to put more signs up.
Well, to get to it, with the ship that's I've given the crew, you have to go into the cargo hold, go through the cargo hold to a locked door in the armory, and then behind the armory where the autoloaders are, open the torpedo tube and go in there. It's quite hard, so I don't understand how this accident happens.
I can see how people accidentally fall in there, definitely.
Yeah, and it's all a secure thing because that's also where they keep their armour, their Goliath battle suits.
Right, okay. Well, I can see definitely why the people fall in there then.
Yeah, I can too.
Accidentally. Wandering around.
Completely accidentally.
Completely accidentally.
But they don't kill them. I mean...
No.
No, space kills them.
No, space kills them. You might just... No, it's their own fault. They should have read the signs.
Yes. So it goes through with different types of bounties that you can do. Tracking bounties, which are essentially tracking jobs, since finding the target is the first thing that needs to happen. If just anybody could find him, there wouldn't be much need for bounty hunters. So basically tracking down people. Delivery, that's where you deliver a person or an item to a location. Often if it's a person, you deliver them into law enforcement, which would be recover and arrest. And that's the next two. Recover and arrest. Alive, yes. Very few are dead or alive, and very, very few are dead. However, it doesn't stop my crew.
No.
So you've got recovery, which is recovering, could be a person or recovering an item. Fairly similar to the other two, but it's a little more tracking. Arresting someone, often the people don't want to go.
The difference between that is the recovery. You wouldn't necessarily have to bring back the bounty hunter. You just bring back the item or the person that's been stolen.
Correct, yes. So it says some bounty hunter jobs find them and bring them back recovery jobs. This might be something the target has, which can almost always be a portable thing of value. It could be information, so something in the target's head or on a storage medium, or almost any sort of object for a sentimental keepsake. So it could be some wealthy philanthropist wants to you to find his daughter because his daughter has a locket that has sentimental photos in it. He doesn't give a hoot about getting his daughter. You've just got to get the locket back. And that could be a bounty mission. So that would lead into different RP scenarios where you can try and get the two back together. You can try and steal the locket. You can convince the daughter to give the locket willingly to her father. You could bribe her to get it, or you could use the locket for bribery yourself for the father, getting more money. But that will be a recovery mission. Arrest is generally always a person. You don't really arrest a ship or a dog or something like that.
A dog.
No. Well, my crew does have a bounty hunter on board called Bob the Bounty Hunter. Or is it Jim the Bounty? It might be Jim the Bounty Hunter. I modelled him after... Who is that guy? The cowboy-looking guy from Attila Battle Angel. You've seen that movie?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, he has two cyber dogs, And so does Jim the Bounty Hunter. He's got a cyber jaw, a cyber hand, he wears a trench coat, big cowboy hat, and he has 2 cyber puppies. And then an elimination mission, which will be some of the extreme ones. It's more target wanted dead, and it's usually only high-level security that will give you that sort of mission. If a, civilian or some sort of not governmental contract, a commercial contract gives you an elimination, usually you want to do it quietly where nobody else will find out. Otherwise, that's murder.
Get caught.
Exactly. So it goes from there to the different clients you can have. So governments, they will often post the biggest, juiciest bounties. It gives you some rules there on how to find work. It will come down a bit later, but your governments get the juiciest bounties because they are the ones that can break the law if they want to. That would include...
They can look the other way, can't they, as well?
They can, yeah. Corporations, they will probably have the most lucrative bounties, but you'll have to work within the confines of the law. Security contracts. Well, it is a dystopic type.
Try not to get
cyberpunk
caught when you do this. If you get caught, we know nothing.
Exactly.
Normally the...
yeah. My crew is in a stealth ship, so they don't get caught too often, but they do make a big ruckus when they blow stuff up on a... when they blow stuff up.
Mikey does?
Mikey's not part of this group. This is the in-person one. Yeah, we're not playing this digitally at all. We actually have models. I've been doing some 3D modeling of the ships, and one of the guys has a 3D printer, and we're trying to get it, so 5 centimetre ship, a 5 mil ship, whatever, is a 50 metre ship, and that's the size of the hero ship. And then you've got, obviously, a lot bigger, a lot smaller, and we're actually trying to build it like that. At the moment, we're just using...
5 centimetres, a couple inches?
Well, maybe I do have a 5 centimetres.
Yeah, because 5 mil is really small.
It is. So 5 centimetres for 50 metres. A centimetre per 10 metres, or a millimetre per metre we're doing it at. So 100 to 1 ratio.
Yes.
But still, that means, the last mission they were on, some pirates had captured a freighter, a 1,000 metre freighter, so 1 kilometre long. That's huge.
That's big.
That's 10 centimetres. Not 10 centimetres, that's 100 centimetres.
Is it 100 centimetres? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we can't model the big stuff. Like, I think a Donager is 900. Why can't you
print out a 1 metre long ship?
Because it's big.
You must have to do it in parts.
That was tempting, but most of the combat we do, the largest ship they've fought against was a 250 metre ship, a destroyer class.
25 centimetres is still decent.
That's still pretty big. So at the moment we are playing basic radar. What we have is I have a big mat, which is just a star field, and I have that based from a Star Wars game I got. So just a base star map. And then we use from some other board game little ship icons. So they ping up as if they are based in a radar situation. So red for enemy, green for ally, blue for neutral, that sort of stuff. Or other way around, blue for ally, green for neutral. And that has been working pretty well, but I'd like to get proper models up and running.
Do they exist?
I have to make them.
Expanse? Oh, I see. Okay.
I did find someone was selling a Rocinante model, very high detailed. You could print it at about 1 metre long, and it was about $25 for the 3D printing. Not for the printing, for the 3D files.
For the design, yeah.
Yeah, which I thought was a pretty decent price. And then obviously you print and pay it yourself.
Well, yeah, it costs you in ink bits, or whatever it is, plastic bits.
Filament.
Melded plastic.
Not filament. No, resin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think these sort of ships would go well with a filament type printer. But yeah, back to people. Individuals, they probably pay the least unless they're incredibly wealthy, but they're probably the most common is an individual bounty.
Did you miss security contacts?
I did miss security contacts, didn't I?
Okay, cool. I was just wondering if I wasn't listening or saying contractors.
Yep. Nope, so we went from corporations to security contractors, which just means...
Nope. here comes a cat. Cat's taking over the world.
Oh, boy.
Oh, he's back. Oh, he
Yep.
sneezed. Okay.
Oh, coughing, sorry.
Come in.
My throat is still feels like sandpaper.
Ah, no, you drink
Yeah,
lots of water.
that's why we couldn't. Oh, I have tea. Tea is water.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's wet.
So security contracts will be, I don't think they count as military, but they do count as security. Maybe they would count as military contacts. They say a subset of corporate clients is security.
It could be private, could it? Private security. So,
True, yeah.
Which is not military.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say military would be your government. Then it gives you quite some good rules for finding bounties. So you've got the target modifier threshold. Basically, these come to advanced tests. So your threshold for finding a freelance contract would be 25. You would have to use, it does tell you the skill, where communications bargaining or intelligence technology test with a time increment of 1 day. So these are your standard advanced tests, which we've done before, but for those just watching, an advanced test is a test where you roll the dice. Your increment is 1 day. That day is spent trying to find that thing, and if you succeed on your standard test of, say, 14, you take your stunt dice and you add them up, and then once you get the success threshold of 25, you have found yourself a contract.
So it's the same way as the Cthulhu does for the creating magical stuff.
It does indeed, yeah. It's used a lot. It's used for hacking. It's used for chases. It's used quite a lot.
One of the games we were closing that portal, wasn't I?
You were, yes. I'm trying to remember which game, but yes. Closing the portal for Fantasy Age.
Going against the witch.
Yes. So this is finding bounties. Obviously, freelance contracts would be the most lucrative. That's why the threshold is so high, whereas a standard bounty is a threshold of 5. Now, where it says target modifier, that there, if you were to do a test of, say, communications bargaining of 11, it says there actually, an advanced test of 11, the target modifier is at -1, so that'll actually be 10. Makes it very easy to find a standard bounty. But standard bounties are, cheap. They won't give you much at all. Bounties available. So you've got sensitive bounties, individual bounties, government, corporate, and security. Sensitive is the big one. That's not the one that's actually listed in the finding jobs that we've got. These ones, most likely you don't know who they are. They're an anonymous source, effectively. But as you can see, the income modifier, +3 temporary income or +1 normal income, which that is huge for this game.
Temporary income bonus, what's that?
Oh, that really hurts. Temporary income. So if you have a look at a character sheet, I believe they are in this one here. We'll load up test rando. And it doesn't actually say the resource test there. It's got base and mod.
All I've got is Lee and Carl. Is that right?
Did I not activate your one? I will configure the ownership, and all players have ownership. There we go. You should now see test rando.
Got him. Yep.
Yep. Okay, so in this particular system, it doesn't actually have the temporary bounty. You'd put that on personal and just whack it there. But what a temporary bounty is say you have a test resource number of 16 to buy something, you can use your temporary bounty to put your normal one of, say, 4 up. If you got this will be a +3, so that would put it to 7, meaning you only need to get 9 on it. However, once it is used for purchasing something or for increasing your results, it's gone for good.
It goes away, yeah.
Yes. Or one.
Do you have a time limit, or is it just within reason?
It depends. My group have a temporary income of 5 to use wherever they want.
Can you stack them then?
You can. So they've got 5. 4 of it is from cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, while searching for something, they found a derelict freighter that had a supply of cheese on it. And cheese in the Expanse is highly expensive because most people have gone for plant-based stuff. Only the rich people can actually eat meat, and there's very little cheese and milk farming anymore. and it can only be done on Earth. And with all the seas risen, there's very little land for agriculture.
Okay.
So,
strange.
Yeah,
Okay.
cheese is extremely expensive, and in some places it's contraband because of how expensive it is. So they have a temporary bonus of 4 for cheese and 1 for, I think it was a stunt. There is a stunt you can get which gives you a temporary income bonus of 1 for however long until you use it again. Yeah, I think there is a stunt for that. I can't remember where it is. And yeah, so they have kept it. I think they might be down to 3 now, but they use that to buy a load of plasma torpedoes. They have used it to upgrade their computer system, and that's the only 2 that they've used 1 for. They've still got 3 sitting there. So, yeah, that's a temporary income. We then scroll down. There is different types of bounties you've got there. So it says the standing bounties, freelance, job fixes, all that sort of stuff. Ooh, my computer's lagging a little, sorry. Then we have the hunting challenge. So we go down a bit to page 7. So this gives you different hunting stunts that you can use. Is my camera flicking for you? Because I've seen it on the screen flicking horribly.
No, not at all. No, clear.
Okay, weird. Okay, there are getting paid. There's bounty incomes. Basically, you can run an entire bounty system and have a freelance mercenary group running in the Expanse. And by default, as we went over, you could probably run it in a Starfield system.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because there's even mission boards and stuff in Starfield, so...
There are, and this place has mission boards as well. I mean, it's a mission board. It's how else are they going to get stuff? We've got tools. So look at that. One of the tools is an electronic lockpick called a bypass. Yeah.
Of course it is.
Restraints and sedatives and different drones, surveillance drones, all that sort of cool stuff. And then different types of ships. So this gives you a nice little... What is that? That is an Labria class shuttle. Doesn't really look too big. It has a crew of 1. You've probably never seen a ship stat in Expanse, have you?
Mm-mm.
Nope. Okay, so if you have a look at the class shuttle, it will tell you what faction it is. So basically, whatever game you're running, there's multiple different factions you can have. Most common will be the APA. Is that it? The, the Belters mercenary group.
Oh, dude, I can't remember. I haven't played Expanse. I watched Expanse for ages.
Fair enough. I think it is the APA. You've got the Martian Federation. You've got the United Nations. And you've got different corporations, different groups, that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. You've got category small. So small will determine generally its size. Small is up to 15 meters. Large is up to 50 meters. And you can have gargantuan or whatever, which is up to 1 kilometer long, which is your Donniger class battle cruisers. It tells you what thrusters. So this shuttle only has thrusters on it, or drives. It has thrusters, which means it can go from the ground up to space, and that's it. If you wanted to travel through space, you're reliant on a huge amount of fuel and time. It's slow. Whereas you can see the Myandera class frigate has Epstein drives, which is your standard interplanetary drive system. It gives you the length of it. It gives you the minimum crew required to run it, and then the standard crew. So this can have 8 standard crew, this little shuttle. Probably, I mean, if you were doing missions on Mars and your depot was in space, you'd probably use this one to capture your person, take him on, and take the shuttle up to the space station. Sensor level, that's generally when you're doing combat or when you are trying to track someone in space. It is the sensor level versus the other ship's sensor levels, and the higher the sensors you have, the better you are at electronic warfare. Then you have the competence of the crew. Average means if it's an NPC crew, you don't really add any on, and you have stuff up to a +6, which will be your elite military forces. And then the favoured range in ship battles in the Expanse, you've got short, which is your PDCs and grapplers, medium, which is your railguns, and long, which is your torpedoes. This thing likes to be at long range because it's got no armaments, and it doesn't really like to get hit at all.
No, it's just a shuttle to carry stuff. So
it is. Then you've got weapon type. So that's the weapons. As I said, 3 different types. You can see on the modified freighter, you have your torpedo tubes. This will have 2 torpedo tubes which fire at long range and do 4d6 damage, but they can only fire in front of them. You also have front firing point defense network, which are close, and then grapplers, which are close. Grapplers don't do anything. They're just magnetic locks which let you board ships. Yep. Favourite combat stunts. So the way combat works in the Expanse for that, each player or each ship rolls from their captain a command thing, which is a TN11 communications leadership test, I believe, which most captains will have that. And if they pass it, then they generate 2 automatic stunt points, or they generate whatever stunt points they get if they go and earn stunt points.
Is there a bunch of stunts for just flying ships?
There are indeed.
Or vehicles?
There are. I don't have them loaded into the system. Yeah,
That's right. I was just curious. That's right. I was just curious.
There are some pretty cool stunts for it. So it's stuff like. Usually you can use
like the Star Trek maneuver, like the the Kirk Alpha 2 maneuver, please.
No,
they always have their pre-programmed
the Picard maneuver where he fired from one location, went to warp, and appeared instantly in another location because warp was faster than light and faster than the sensors could go. Which is really weird because they can sense something multiple systems away when they're at warp.
Yes.
But, yeah, I don't know.
Question it.
Don't question it.
No.
But one of them would be, in this game, you can use your PDCs for either defense if people are firing torpedoes at you, or for offense if you want to shoot. You can use a command point of +2 to basically do both, which is really handy because if you are being shot at with torpedoes, the longer the range, because of the speed they can get up to, the harder it is to evade. And you need to add a lot of dice to your pilot to be able to avoid a torpedo, which last time the crew done it, they managed to do it. However, my wife rolled badly on her juice roll because you have to have the juice pumped into you to withstand high G maneuvers. Otherwise, you pass out. And she was unconscious for the rest of the battle. Yeah, she's also the ship's engineer, so when they did take damage, she was unconscious and couldn't repair the ship. So
didn't she have a slave though to do work for her?
She does. She does. I think he took some damage as well, because there's like collateral damage as a stunt, which lets you damage the crew instead of the ship. Yeah, so They won the battle, but only just. They didn't have their chief engineer to repair anything. It says quality, so there are a list of about 10 to 15 different qualities you can put on and 10 to 15 different floors, the same as you can on guns. You can tack them onto ships. And like advanced sensor package, so their sensors may be 1 for the freighter. However, they can add +2 with advanced sensors to do something. Maneuverability means their pilot gets a +1 on maneuvering rolls. These guys have weapon systems, so that's fine. And they have hull plating. You'll see their hull 2d6 +1. Whereas if we go to the Libra class shuttle, that is atmospheric. So the way that damage works on this, 2d6 +1. If I were to fire PDCs at the ship, I roll 2d6, and then the ship rolls 2d6 +1, and it is basically a versus test. So if I only roll a 6 on my 2d6 +1, on my 2d6 for my PDCs, and you roll a 7, well, you've got 8 damage reduction, so the PDCs don't actually damage you. So the bigger you are, the bigger the hull is, and the less damage you take, effectively.
Yeah. Okay. which is kind of weird, but okay.
I
suppose it's thicker skull, hull,
thicker hull,
skin.
because most primary systems are in the center of the ship, so you could shoot hull off, but you're not actually damaging it. I think the very first battle with Donager, the ships was being shot at with rail guns, and you could see the rail bullet flies through, takes off the head of one of the main crew, and that's basically what the rest of the people became, the Rocinante sort of thing. But you could see, the shots just fired straight through the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it wasn't hitting anything. It's basically a damage reduction, but it's rolled, so it's different every time.
Yep.
Then the next page, we actually have the Bounty Hunter specialization. So your requirements for it is Perception 2 or higher and at least one perception focus. Could be tracking, could be sniffing, could be tasting. Don't know why, but... when you get that, you become a novice and you can designate someone or something as your quarry after spending at least an hour on the job investigating them, including reading a prepared brief or dossier. You can only have one active quarry at a time, but can substitute the new quarry for a previous one with an additional time investment. Usually your quarry is the focus of the bounty you're currently pursuing. You consider to always have the tangible focus necessary to investigate your quarry, and if your primary or tangible if you have the primary or tangible focus, you gain a +1 bonus on test to investigate. So that is pretty cool. If you're trying to track them on the ground and you chose tracking, that will be your tangible focus. If you have that, then you would be getting a +3 for any tracking rolls you have for them. You also gain the benefits of dexterity, intelligence, and perception intuition focuses with regards to your designated quarry, but only them. So you get into combat, you have a better drop on them, and you've always got that little bit of intuition about them. And then expert, you can prepare a major action in relation to your quarry. Whenever you roll initiative against your quarry, you can perform your prepared action first before your quarry acts. So that could be shooting them. You could have that prepared, and as soon as it goes into combat, doesn't matter what happens, you shoot first.
Because you've investigated them, I guess, is the theory behind it.
I think so, yeah. You have the drop on them, you know what they're going to do, you prepare to act before that.
Mm-hmm. You've studied them.
Yeah, and then you've got your master, which gives you, what is it? It gives you have a +2 bonus for any test to see if you surprise your quarry. So sneaking up on them, basically. And then you've got reputation of different bounty hunters. You've got bad reputation, good reputation. And then we get into the churn, which is a different system we haven't explored yet. Then we go down the jobs board. So there we go, mission boards available. And as you can see, there's a few key ones there. And from that, you can just create random bounties. They're fairly easy to do. So that's a bounty hunter, which pretty cool.
Exactly as you expect, isn't it, really?
It is, yeah. Very good at hunting things, different jobs, different tools, all that sort of stuff. Next one, planetary surveyor. So different types of surveying jobs is looking for valuable items, or not valuable items, looking for valuable artifacts, gold, resources, that sort of stuff, which is pretty much what you're doing when you're scanning a planet in Starfield.
Or Mass Effect, in fact, was the same, wasn't it?
It was actually, yes. Determining usability, so this is seeing where you can build colonies, that sort of stuff, mapping areas, and then gathering scientific information, surveying flora and fauna, and finding something specific. This all sounds so familiar. I've done all of these missions.
Yep.
Boy, my throat is itchy. You've got different planetary environments, solid surface, atmosphere, underground, aquatic, and underwater. You've got different mission areas, so entire planets, hemisphere, continent, country-sized area, state-sized area, city-size, town. And then once again, we go back to clients. So government clients, they would pay the big bickies. Most likely UN would be sending you out to survey a planet for habitability, whereas Mars would probably send you out to look for resources to progress their technology. Corporations, obviously a lot of corporations, I mean anything from biohazard, not biohazard, what are those ones? You know, people who make foundation and makeup, that sort of stuff, and then make medicine and
surveillance and stuff like that.
Yeah, they'll be sending you off to look for fauna and flora to basically see if you can find the next magic cure or magic pill.
Scientists.
Whereas mining companies would be sending you off to look for resources. Scientific institutes for medical care companies, universities, and other scientific places like that. And then colonizing companies and religious and special interest groups. So people who want to look for alien artifacts, that sort of stuff. So lots of different people can give you jobs there. Then we've got finding work. We've got pretty much the same thing as before. However, instead of actually, no, it's the same thing. Communications, bargaining, or technology. And it's a TN11. So the same thing, trying to find a mission. Once you have the mission, you can see, is it going to be government, corporate, colonial, scientific, religion? Pretty much the same thing for getting a job as the bounty hunter. Slight different, but the same theory. And then we go.
It's a similar sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it should be. Yeah. It should be the same, because who wants multiple different systems to kind of get a mission? So we have exploration stunts on while you're surveying a planet. So Dead Reckoning, your survival skills helps you get the lay of the land, granting you a bonus of +1 per stunt point on your next use of intelligent navigation in the area. So that's pretty cool. Survivor's mindset. Your survivalist attitude steals your mind, giving you a bonus of +1 per stunt point on your next use of any willpower. Frontier medication. You use natural or makeshift remedies on or a first aid kit to restore 1 fortune for every 2 stunt points. Fortune is the Expanse's version of health. They don't have HP. You have your fortune, which is your luck.
Right. When you look around that, you're dead.
It does, yeah. But you can use your luck in rolls.
Oh, I remember talking about this beforehand, actually.
Yeah, I think we've done it once before. It's a 1-to-1 ratio to increase any of the 2 normal dice, or a 2-to-1 ratio to increase your stunt dice. But it lets you increase, and that's any dice you want. So it could be damage, it could be doing a check, it could be defense. Yeah. Then we've got planetary surveying challenges. So here's a challenge of capture fauna. This will be a difficulty TN12, increased for especially large or intelligent fauna. Success threshold is 10. So advanced test, obviously. Time per test, 30 minutes. And basically, it gives you all the different ability focuses and tells you what you're trying to capture. And you can see a little person there with a spider. So they obviously had a mission to capture some sort of spider in order to get its venom or maybe its silk glands. Although that spider has tentacles.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's spider because it's only got 6 legs. I'm not sure if they're legs on the top of its head.
I don't know.
It's got a weird tail too.
It does.
It's more like a scorpion, actually, or something like that.
Well, it looks like a scorpion, squid, spider. It looks creepy.
It could be an alien. That's what the problem is.
It probably is some sort of alien creature. With that, you've got consequences. So advanced tests can often have a consequence or something like that. If you fail too many times, then bad things happen. We've gone over that with the Call of Cthulhu when you're trying to cast spells. If you cast it too often and you fail, the spell can go off, and we've seen what happens. Of its own. Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Well, this is part of the modern age, and it's been introduced into everything else. If you fail, then something bad will happen. Minor, moderate, major, depending on your dice roll. But here we go. For a minor, A close encounter with the creature shakes up the surveyor or their ship, increasing the target number of physical tests or tests using sensors until the characters can succeed at a constitution stamina test or an intelligence technology test for the ship to regain their composure. So minor is usually comebackable, moderate is kind of bad, and major basically abandon all hope and find another job.
It may well stalk you for the rest of your life.
Yes. Another mission here, choose an appropriate landing site. So that's pretty easy. I mean, I've had to do that in
wouldn't you?
Starfield because, you choose a site that you've got 3 converging resources and the hopes to find all 3. So there's one there. Challenge, determine usability of the planet or gather scientific information. So lots of different challenges.
Question. What happens when you do go do 100% on one of the planets?
Not what I was thinking, honestly. The way
XP for it or something, do you? Or?
I think you get a bit of XP. You don't get any benefits that I can see the way they were explaining it in the big showdown that they done a couple of months ago. They said that you'll get a perk when you complete a planet. I haven't seen anything like that. What you get is a data disk worth $5,000 of the surveying data. And
which you can then sell and then...
It's getting to the point now where I've got 200,000 in the bank and I've spent 200,000 on my ship. Money is kind of worthless. So, and because I'm setting up bases, I've now got all the resources I need to do the stuff. I'm no longer spending money on resources to, build. So, yeah, it's not as good as I was led to believe, but it's still the challenge of getting 100%. I also did find you obviously can't land on gas giants.
No, you'll die.
No,
or black holes. There was a complaint about it, wasn't there?
If you get up to something astronomic and you fly to it, you can open the planetary menu system from your cockpit and then still do a scan, and you'll get $5,000 for doing the scan, and it counts as 100% surveying a planet. So it's an easy way to make money, but it sort of defeats the purpose. Fly to a planet and push 2 buttons to scan it, or spend 2 hours trying to 100% all the flora and fauna, because it's the same result.
I'm thinking the gas planet's the way to go then.
Yeah.
Can you do the sun?
I don't think so. But if you get the surveyor perk, you can start scanning planets from 15 light years away if you level that up. Yeah, so you can stay in one little local cluster and just scan everything.
All the moons and all the little planets and everything. That's awesome.
Yeah. If you can't land on it, scan it.
Scan it.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go near it, just scan it.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
And you make the same amount of money as everything else. So I was a little disappointed with that. But
maybe they'll tweak it. Maybe they'll change it.
I mean, with Fallout 4, they had the contraptions pack, and then they had like 3 of their expansions were based solely on base thing. My fridge is turning off and on a lot, and it's flickering my camera a lot.
Oh, is that what's causing the...
I can hear it.
I can't see it on camera.
I can see it. It's like I just done it there. Yeah.
Yeah, just did it. Yeah, I was watching.
Yeah. It's a bit annoying, but...
Are they sharing the same power?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Well, I've got one power lead coming into the office. Well, garage.
Feeding it back.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to guess there'll be a couple of expansions. One will probably be dedicated to planets and building bases. One will be dedicated to ships.
Do you break down all the stuff that you find? Because I keep finding these massive things that you can break down, and they're using the industrial table. And you can break it down to its basic, like copper and whatever. Do you break everything down?
No, I didn't know you could do that. Like, I would like to be breaking down all of the weapons, because there's no point in selling them anymore. So I
don't know if you can do weapons. You can do resources. I'm not sure about weapons, though.
No, I've only ever used the that table for creating, like, stuff.
Okay. Well, there's one where you can break them down as well.
Oh, wow.
Because resources take up the most space, I've discovered.
Oh, yeah. I have 2,800 cargo in my ship. I keep having to add more cargo to the ship because it's just full of resources.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm like, at what point do you stop doing that and just use the resources for stuff though?
Once you've got your bases set up, you can actually put resources there, and if you have a transfer system, all of your resources on
Well, you can
bases on
link
planets.
5. There's an achievement for linking 5
I haven't quite done that yet, but
things together.
that is a goal.
Outposts.
Yeah, I've only got one outpost fully built, and that's producing. I've got nickel, iron, water, and something else. Some sort of creature, because I've got a homestead running on it.
All right.
Yeah. So other missions we have: determine usability and gather scientific information, perform clandestine survey, all that sort of stuff. Then you go getting paid, which is the usual. Tools of the trade, so animal capture gear, animal control gun, camping gear, chemistry deck, sampling kit, surveying terminal, and survival kit. And then once again, different type of drones. So sampling drone, snare drone, reconnaissance drone, submersible drones, all that sort of cool stuff. Drones are a big thing of the Expanse. They didn't really appear in the TV series. I think I saw like little repair drones and then 1 or 2 combat drones, and that's it. But in the RPG, one of my guys just has a heap of drones. I'm looking at a spider getting very close to being above my head, and we know what happened last time. Okay, I'm going to keep my eye out on that guy. Different vehicles you can get, so aircraft, aquatic vehicles, and ground vehicles, and then different surveying ships. So you've got submersible skiff, scouts, research vessels, and all that sort of stuff. Research vessel is actually pretty well armoured for a research vessel, whereas the scout has point defence and grapples only.
Is it a speed thing with the scouts, is it?
Maybe. With the thrusters, it would be quicker off the mark, but yeah. Oh, it's atmospheric capable. No, both are actually. So yeah, most of these ships look like they're all atmospheric capable. So basically you land on the planet and use your ship as the base to do the surveying, which is pretty cool. I know it's fun doing it in Starfield. I don't know how fun it would be in a tabletop RPG with the crew, but I can see a DM who is into that making it a lot of fun for the crew, trying to explore, trying to do that sort of stuff. I think it would really depend on the group. If you had a crew that just wanted to kill and that sort of stuff, this would be boring. But if you wanted a crew to build and expand and basically...
Well, if you could do capturing animals and stuff like that, it could be fun.
Yeah.
Because that can go badly. Because I was looking at the size of them. It's only got elephant as very large. I'm like, nah, you need bigger than that, surely.
Well, I will show you another PDF once we've finished these. Actually, no, let's go do it now. Go to the very last one, page 6, Building Worlds. So with the Expanse, there was 2 major books released after it. These are big, giant ones. One is called Ships of the Expanse, which basically gives you 100 or so different ships to play around with and all sorts of stuff. That's how I found out cheese is worth so much, because they've got different cargo runs and cheese was the most valuable. So this system here gives you basically the way to build a solar system to explore, which ties in with the planetary surveyor. It gives you everything. So how many suns it has, the spectral type of the sun, the luminosity class, and how many suns there are in the planet. And then the companion suns, if there's more than one, what is their spectral and what is their luminosity. So you can have multiple suns in a thing. Orbital zones, what are the different planet orbital zones on it? Orbital occupants, so is this a gas giant? Is it an asteroid belt? Is it a rocky planet or a terrestrial planet? Or what is that? The ring. Oh yes, so the Expanse, they don't have FTL, you fly through a giant ring. Moons, how many moons it has, and are they habitable, that sort of stuff. Terrestrial planets have orbital periods, rotational periods, the type of gravity they are, what type of atmosphere they are, and it gives you the type there: chlorine, sulfur, high carbon dioxide, low oxygen, high oxygen pollutants. It just gives you so much on how to basically procedurally randomly generate 100 different worlds for your people to live on. And then we go down here and we've got analogues. So these are the type of creatures you find on there. We've got flyer, grazer, and hunter, which is pretty much the three that you have in the Expanse. You have your flyers, which are, I've scanned a bunch of them. You have your grazers, which are usually the docile ones that you can set up and farm in your things. And then you've got the
like
hunted
sheep.
ones. Yeah, like sheep. I think I've got a lot of real cool little tiny, they look like chubby T-Rexes, but they're only half the size of a human, and they are herbivores and pacifist type creatures. And then you've got hunting ones. So maybe you're sent on a surveying mission to get a really high-end hunting creature. Well, here's all the stats for it to try and bring it down, as well as special features, so aquatic, armoured, biomechanical, fast, special sense, special stunt, and different things like that, swarms as well. So 4 different type of creatures, and if you have a look at them, I've seen things looking pretty much like this in Starfield.
That big arachnid thing.
I've seen some that looked like a hybrid of an arachnid and a Venus flytrap.
See, I haven't done much of the running around bits yet.
Yep,
I haven't done.
they're basically like a
first.
prey
Sorry,
mantis.
the first place you go, isn't there? There's some on the first place you go.
Yeah,
You first release into the game.
I believe there are, yes. In fact, I think there's some on the Alpha Centauri system. Like if you leave the main city, there's a whole heap to expand out there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the places that I'm like 98%. I've got one more plant to scan and one more creature, and I've scanned some of them. They're just extremely rare.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard of a trick. You basically leave the planet and then put your level up to the maximum, then land at a new location. That'll automatically create the area you want to go in. From there, it will create all of the herds and all the creatures. You then drop your level back down to whatever you're playing it as, but any rare creature will automatically be created then and there. Because sometimes they'll have a creature of maybe a 5% chance for it to actually spawn when you land.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yep, this is the different planets, and this is how we can create stuff. We can also create artifacts and oddities and that sort of stuff, which ties in really well with the Planetary Surveyor. And then, yeah, we go back to the Planetary Surveyor. I'm keeping my eye on that spider.
Your new friend.
I don't want it to bounce on my glasses or my tea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we go finally to the specialist. So to do this, you need intelligence 2 or higher and the intelligence planetary science skill focus. When you do it, your novice level, you know all about the planetary sciences. Add +1 to any tests requiring it, which most, if you're doing a scanning, will probably have that test built in somewhere. Expert, you know what to look for when you're on a planet or in the water or even the atmosphere. Subtract 2 from the target number to avoid planetary hazards. And then master, you have a variety of skills that will help you explore. Gain 2 of the following focuses. You don't need to have them already. If you don't have them already: Constitution, Stamina, Dexterity, Drive, and Dexterity, Piloting, Perception, Survival, Perception, Tracking. If you already have all of these, pick 2.
Quick question. I was just thinking, so this Planetary Surveyor is a very weird trade to pick.
It does feel it, doesn't it?
Can you have 2 trades?
Yes. So you get, at level 4, you get your first, specialization. That's it? Yes, specialization.
So in theory, you could say, I want to be a planetary surveyor. Because, I'm not sure what I want to do. Oh, that sounds interesting. I'll do that.
Yeah. And then once you hit level 6, if you don't like it, well, you can choose another specialization. Basically, I don't think there is a limit to specializations. You just have to meet their requirements. You get 1 at level 4, 6, 8, and then 12, 14, and 16. So you can basically level up 2 specializations fully or get 6 minor specializations.
Right, okay.
I will...
Just trying to work out how this works in gameplay, like actually role-playing as a surveyor. Why would you want to be a surveyor?
It would have to be very much a group dedicated to that. So you would I would say, start off 100 years after the TV series finishes, where the balance has been restored. Everybody is looking at new worlds to colonize, all that sort of stuff. So you are part of a new colonization push from the Sol system out to one of the 12,000 other worlds there are. And
Well, you could do it like a Star Trek game, couldn't you? Almost.
You could. Basically, exploration. This would not be a combat-oriented campaign. This will be an exploration campaign.
Yeah, but you can always have a baddie. You could always have like the Klingons or the,
Klingons aren't baddies.
No, you know what I mean. They were in the first one.
Yeah.
Or the Cardassians or whatever.
Yeah. Romulans, Vulcans, Ferengi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could have those characters in it and still make it kind of fun in that respect.
You could.
Or would you have pirates, I guess? You could have it in pirates. If you're doing Starfield.
Starfield. Yeah, definitely. You could have a row, like you could be working for one faction. Another faction wants to colonize. So interplanetary war, the colonial wars. Basically, different factions and different companies want to colonize these worlds. You're sent out as an advanced scouting team, find the right locations, you send the data back, you then take off and find a couple of battleships from different factions, all want the data. You can either sell it at the highest price, stick with your corporation that funded you. You'll have to escape somehow.
Well, if you take the Starfield way with like the Red Crimson and the Free, what are they called? The Free something or other? And then the UC and the Vanguard, there's all these different outfits out there, isn't there?
There are, yeah, multiple. The Eclipse, the
Eclipse, that's right. The Spacers.
Spacers. I haven't found any Spacers in space, believe it or not.
No, we're still trying to kill me when I land on planets.
Yeah, I found that interesting.
Yeah. Are they Spacers because they weren't born in on any planet in particular? Is that what they're Spacers?
I don't know.
Or is it like a geography term? Like
maybe it is a job. Yeah.
You spacer you. Yeah, okay. So it could work, I guess, if that's how you played it. If you're like, okay, we're doing like Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing Skyrim, Jesus.
Starfield.
We're doing Starfield.
Yes.
We're playing Starfield. So you just go, right, you're playing Starfield, what are you can do? I'll go and talk to UC guys and see what they're...
you start a campaign, have it at level 4. There's no reason whatsoever why you can't have somebody who specializes in planetary surveyor, someone who is a bounty hunter, someone who is a scout, someone who is a hacker, someone who is a socialite.
Mm-hmm.
So it just opens it up for all missions.
It does, yeah. Have an engineer or something in there as well. And
yeah. And then here we go. The reputation, same as that. Churn, we won't go on to there, but the jobs board. So we've got different types of contracts here.
It sounds like the job is board. The board job.
So we'll look at Raven Burish. Is that how would you pronounce that? Raven Burish is one of the several directors of Colonial Enterprises, responsible for deciding where to establish the colonies for the company's many clients. Burish finds this a stressful responsibility, and they are eager to enlist outsider help to gain as much data as possible about potential sites. So there we go. You've been hired to scout specific sites out.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 3 of them by the looks of it. Not as much as the bounty hunters, but that's a planetary surveyor. And then the final one, which came out 2 weeks ago, this is the one they sent me on my birthday, is the scout. Around a bit. Scouts were the ones that looked at what's over the next hill, travelled across the country to find the source of the river, and peeked through a spyglass into the enemy's camp to count their troops. In the era of the Epstein drive, much is still the same. Scouts will look for things. Look through their focal is much further.
Focus is much further away.
Thank you. I'm going to have to.
Is your voice dying? Do you want me to take over?
Yes, please. My voice is really bad.
Yeah, I wanted that. They look at what's around that gas giant, travel through ring gates to find habitable worlds, new worlds, and peek through probe scans of a pirate asteroid base to counter their ships. So, what's being a scout in the Expanse universe? So, yeah, basically specialize in gathering information.
Yeah.
I suppose you can't take that as far as selling information as well, I guess, wouldn't you?
Why not? Information is valuable.
Information, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of goes through kind of checking out rings, scout chart, planetary bodies, major asteroids, ring systems, comets, strange space phenomena,
Yep.
and more. They also note sites for further planetary surveyors. So that was where you work with as a team and say, hey, this is quite good.
Yeah.
Go and have a look at this. In extra solar systems and solar systems itself. What's extra solar systems then?
I would say that's anything beyond the ring system. So Sol is our system. Anything out of that was an extra solar system. Because I don't think the Epstein drive, like it's fast enough to travel to other planets or other solar systems, but it's a fraction of the speed of light. So
it has to have the ring system in that other place as well, I imagine.
It would, yeah.
If it's unexplored, it wouldn't be there.
I mean, remember, most biology in the ring systems sort of got destroyed with, well, you probably don't remember, it is thing they got destroyed with the ring builders in whatever war they had and when the protomolecule was used, and everything has been reset, which means everything in the ring systems is about 1 billion years behind Earth in form of evolutionary leaps. So that's why you get a lot of the... Okay. Sort of, they're all very much primordial type worlds at the moment. There could be some that are agarial type worlds, but there won't be any other, intelligent life out there. It'll just, most of it will be the way Starfield is.
Yeah, okay. Some scouts operate in military capacity, observing structures on planetary bodies or space stations or even fleets in the void. Reporting under enemy forces, both for space and on planet. Okay. The primary area of operations is deep space. They don't explore the planet's surfaces, they determine the suitability of colonization or determine the suitability. That's the job that they... Okay, so this just kind of goes on about how they look at stuff and go, hey guys, this is quite good to look at.
Yeah. So you have a good scout and a good surveyor working together. One will locate a suitable planet, the other one will take the planet and work out whether it is suitable.
Yep. Types of scout jobs. You have a system, so it's kind of self-explanatory, really. System, star, planet, moon, asteroid, comet, etc.
Yep.
Or constructed location, which I guess could be on a planet or could be a something floating.
Well, it says common examples are space stations, planetary bases, orbital fleet yards, cities, towns, that sort of stuff.
Alien artifacts, yes. And you have the roles here for it as well. So you can have like locate the potential variables, determine usability, map an area, chart navigational route, gather scientific data, or locate something specific. Okay, so that's the sort of missions you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And then it goes into detail, which they're kind of self-explanatory, really, aren't they?
They really are. Job missions is, yeah, it tells you exactly what they are.
Yeah. Find some water, find a habitable biosphere, find a certain weapon that's been nicked, a person that's been kidnapped. There you go. Work with your bounty hunter guy.
A bounty hunter scout works well.
Or, yeah, could you be a bounty hunter scout? That would be the way to go.
You could.
Or even a planetary surveyor scout.
Yep, that would work well.
That would be completely anti-fighting, I guess.
Yeah.
Your standard clients, your governments,
yep,
often not always military, sometimes civilians might want some help. The corporations, again, money, they want to go and find something for money, find some new water, do some of that. Scientific would be, again, this would be like information on natural phenomena, it says here as an example. Discovering of protomolecules.
Yep.
Yeah. And then what worlds are accessible through ring gates. So, and institutions would probably employ you to do that sort of stuff. And then colonization companies for colonization. Then criminal organizations, of course.
Yes, that does look good.
Yeah, the pirates employ you to go and look out what the other pirates are doing, or go and find out what the government's doing to nick their ships or whatever, or go and steal all the money off the banks. And then religious special interests, same thing again. Always the Church of Latter-day Saints is always the example.
That's because they were the ones that were building the massive colony ship in the series. So
they lost it.
Yeah, they lost it because it was meant to be a missile fired at the what was the moon? I can't remember the name of the moon where the protomolecule was released, but it failed, and then the OPA kind of stole it as their flagship, and then it got repurposed as the Gateway space station. So it is basically sitting inside the null space that all of the ring worlds work to, and that's effectively where everybody goes. It's like you leave the Sol system, fly through the ring, get to Tycho Station. Is it Tycho? No. Meridian Station.
They talk about Tycho at the top. Oh, okay.
Meridian, I think it is, or Mardine Station. Something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. It is written down somewhere else. I think it's in the book, the Ships of the Expanse book, which is inside in my bookcase. And yeah, you go there, and that's a giant place where you can launch your expeditions from. So that's why they have the Church of Latter-day Saints, because they were the ones that funded that spaceship and are still probably suing the shipbuilding company.
Not overly happy.
No, they were not happy at all.
No. So then goes into finding work. It's exactly the same as a bounty hunter, actually.
It's the same as all three. It's always communication, bargaining, or intelligence technology. So can you use a computer to find the job, or can you talk to the people correctly to find the job?
Yep.
But I do like the fact that it's two different things, communications or intelligence. You're not reliant on being smart or being charismatic. You can be either. I mean, you can be both, but yeah.
Would you be able to stack the multiplier then, or you just choose one or the other?
You choose one. If, like I possibly would if you had both of them, in certain circumstances, I would let you add a +1 if you had both of them to it. But that would be very specific ones. Like you've got intelligence technology, you could use that and try and talk to someone and get a bonus +1 to say, hey.
Especially if it's like a technology kind of question or query, I guess. And,
yeah, but you're still talking to a person. You're talking geek to a person.
You're talking the same level as that person, yeah.
Yeah, sure. But you wouldn't be able to add the full bonus of technology on. It would just be a +1, I'd say.
Yeah, right. So same thing again, freelance contracts, job boards, job fixers. It's exactly the same.
It is exactly the same.
Deep space scouting. Okay, so there's a basic scan. This is a base test used to scan or search targets or areas in space. Intelligence plus ship sensor score. Okay, so you're stacking your sensor score in your ship.
So you'd want a very high sensor score for your ship. If you have a ship that doesn't have one, we've got a mongrel mob thing happening.
Ships, wasn't it? Wasn't a bunch of ships, a scout ship just now? I wonder if that's got a high sensor.
It may do. If not, you can always buy it. You can upgrade your ship and buy new sensor packages, giving you a +1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah, I was just having a quick nosy. I can't find that ship.
It'll be down the bottom of this page. There'll be some ships.
Okay, cool.
So, first challenge is chart a route through an asteroid field.
Cool.
So that'll be just using your ship's sensors to, or navigation, that sort of stuff. You use your ship's sensors and either intelligence technology, which is the standard one for electronic warfare and ship combat, astronomy, navigation, physics, or dexterity piloting to basically get through. So a fleet has jumped in. There's an asteroid belt surrounding the ring world. Or the rings to get in. As soon as you get there, the ships are all inundated with massive asteroid hits and micrometeors and that sort of stuff. So they put you in a little scout ship, and you're basically finding a path through the asteroid field for the fleet to get through.
Oh, geez. See, I was thinking they'd jump and take over the main ship, try and get it through.
I'm thinking like Voyager, that episode where they send Harry Kim and Chakotay in the Delta flyer to fly in front of Voyager to get sensor data and feed it back. It didn't work. Right, okay. Everyone died, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a good try. Okay. No, you go for it. You keep going.
Okay, gather scientific data. This would lead probably into the planets. Well, it's got engineering planetary science, so that will be getting information about different planets. I mean, it says stellar disturbances, sunspots, planetary conditions for colonies, emissions from an asteroid field. It may even indicate secret enemy bases. You might be able to scan out for that, but gathering information, mainly scientific.
I like the consequences, though, on the other one as well. I was just reading those.
Oh, yes, read them out.
If you slip up. Well, so for when you're flying through an asteroid belt, obviously, miners just get clipped by something and you have to do like a 11 check against balancing.
Yep.
Moderate slip up invalidates much of the completed charted, wiping out half the accumulated success.
Oh.
So you basically, yeah, pretty much 50% of your progress is lost.
Wow.
At least, yeah. And then obviously major is quite bad and you die.
Yeah. A TN-17 engineering test to prevent the loss.
High.
Oh, and damage. Wow.
And then 1d6. The 1d6 damage is no bad, but you could lose the whole start again, basically, if you could mess it up.
Yeah, start again. And if you're in a small ship that only has like 2d6 hull, if you take 6 hull damage, you roll 2d6 and you roll a 4, well, guess who's looking for a new ship?
Squashed. Well, you might did as well.
There is that, yeah.
Yes. Space is not good for people.
No. In space, you cannot drink tea.
No, it's too cold.
Yes.
And then they talk about the one for actually doing scientific. You could lose half the data. On a moderate, is like you might lose half the data.
Yep.
If you mess it up. And then on the computer storage for majors, a computer storage failure, friends lose all the collected data.
Wow.
That's cool, isn't it? And that's the character that sees a TN-17 intelligence technology base. It's kind of interesting. Got it all. I've done it. Oh no. The last roll, I messed it up, and now I've got to not lose all the data or start again.
Ouch.
Because it's 10 times 12 hours per test as well, so it's quite slow.
It would be. That's success threshold 15. I mean, you could do it in 3 days, but
as long as you don't mess it up and lose
it's 3 days wasted. I would say 5 to 6 days. That's an entire week wasted. And if you're on a time frame, if you've got a week to travel to the location, get the data, travel back.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be. It's not a good day.
No.
It's not a good day for someone to kick the power plug off this computer and lose all the data or whatever you do. The cat runs in front of the computer and knocks the power button.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. See major fail.
Right.
Scan occupied area. Locate a sought after item, person, phenomena, or web object. So this is time per test is only 30 minutes, which is not too bad, is it?
No, not that bad.
That's not bad. Threshold 16, difficulty 13. Require ship sensors, intelligence, technology, intelligence, astronomy, engineering, security, and tactics. It's kind of interesting.
So this will be military ones, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Occupied area, so yeah.
Yeah.
Minor sensor sweeps over security systems, and the site requires greater caution, slow and process to 1 test per hour. Okay, so there's a chance you're getting caught out. Moderate is an accidental active ping or simple hapstance draws a small patrol ship to investigate, means you have to run away. And major, the scout ship is spotted, leading to a close or chase or combat with focus. Forces guarding the site that must be resolved before the search can continue.
Nice.
Cool. All-out war kicks off, basically.
Yeah. I mean, if you're on the ground, then it's a chase scene. You have to get out of there.
Yes.
So you're hunting the big baddie. You're, tailing him.
These ship sensors, though, isn't it? This is like it's from a ship. I suppose you could change it to...
I would say, I would say if you're on land, you wouldn't be using ship sensors, but maybe you can. Maybe your ship sensors, you can control it through your PDA and basically lock the sensors on. But in that case, if you fail and you are in a large city, the gangsters who you are now running away from probably would have a lock on your ship, which means that could be in danger of being seized, destroyed, or ambushed.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the last one, was this the last one? Yeah, search the system for a habitable planet. Habitable planet. So this is quite a long one. Success threshold is 20, and then time for a test is 1 day. It's quite a slow check.
It is. So I would say 5 to 7 days on average if you passed.
Yeah, the 11's not too difficult, but the actual there's 20 you have to get, so it could take a while if you.
Yeah.
So you need intelligence technology, intelligence astronomy, chemistry, planetary science, and ship sensors as well. Yeah, and just literally look for a.
So I would say scan for an occupied area would be good for a bounty hunter. Scan for a system for a habitable planet would be good for a surveyor.
Surveyor, yeah, for sure. I like the miner's undetectable radiation bout impairs the sensors, increasing the TN test views by +2. Interesting. Yep. Strange readings from many of the objects in the system validates a lot of the sensor scans, preventing the reuse of one of the already intelligent focused until the character can succeed in an intelligence research test to find a way to compensate. Okay, nice. So there's something messing with your computer scans.
Yeah.
And the last one, the major, is the time and the effort spent on those jobs starts to take its toll. Raising half the accumulated successes gained so far, unless the character can succeed in a constitution stamina test to push through. So you're getting really tired.
Yeah.
And you make a mistake, you lose half your data.
Wow. I'm liking the consequences.
Yes. Yeah, I think you could make up some more as well, couldn't you?
You definitely could, yeah. These are just examples of jobs. You make up a job, you can make up the consequences.
Yep. Awesome. Vehicle combat sensor stunts, getting paid. Obviously, you'll get the success, you'll get paid.
Yep.
What's this here? The vehicle combat stunts, ship sensors.
So, like I said, you do have a lot of space combat in this game, and this one here will be extra stunts that there's different roles. You have 4 key roles on a ship. You have the leader, the electronic warfare specialist, the pilot, and the engineer. You can have a gunnery who can take manual control of the ships, but with the speed that ships run, most of them rely on computers to do it, which ties in more with the electronic specialist. And
that's how the Expanse works mostly, isn't it, as well?
It does. So you tell the computer to basically who to target, and then you fire chuffs or use EM disturbances to try and cloak your ship so their enemies' computers can't fire on you. Mm-hmm. That's generally the way it is. And this here would be whenever you use the ship's sensors, so that would be for electronic specialists. These are more stunts that you can use.
That's the names that caught my eye. So eye patch is one here. Reduce the TN of a damage control test to repair lost to sensors for 1 for each SP spent. Yeah. So you could trick 3 or 4 at it and really mess up all their scans.
Damage control. No, this will be damage control. So maybe this will be the engineer trying to repair the sensors.
Yeah, right. Oh, so isn't it all? Oh, I see.
Well, the way it works, you can target a specific subsystem on the ship, the way you can in, Starfield. We keep bringing it back to that. But you can target a specific system. Your attack drops by 1d6, but the enemy's ship, their hull is also dropped by 1d6. And if you do damage to it, the damage goes straight onto the ship's sensor. I believe ships can only take a limited amount of actual structural damage. If you just generally hit, so you fire a torpedo, it hits, it does 4d6 damage. It is a bit of a weird system. Say I only have 2d6 hull defense, I roll and I get pretty high, but 4d6 is a lot of damage to take. I've still got 6 points of damage. What I can do is I take damage to a subsystem or to collateral. You roll the dice randomly. So you got engines, weapons, sensors, hull and collateral and one other. I can't remember what it is. You roll the dice. It's like, okay, I'm taking engine damage. you roll your d6 and you take 1 point of engine damage. I've got 6 damage. If I roll 4, I've still got 2 points of damage, so I have to take a second one. And once you can take accumulated damage on multiple systems, so you can take your engines and drop them right out and have them totally destroyed. But once you've taken X amount of damage, and you can no longer, you can no longer roll the dice to take damage on a subsystem, your ship is destroyed.
Right, okay.
But the very final phase of ship combat is the engineer gets up and actually tries to repair something.
Tries to fix it for them.
Yeah, so they have to do a engineering test. That's what my wife specialised in. She even had expertise, which means she gets a +1 on ship repair. And consequently, she would get up out of the seat and try and repair whatever damaged system it is.
Right.
Yeah, so it's quite a fun way. It is different because there is an initiative and everybody's working at the same time. It all depends on versus roles. So if you've got pilots are trying to close the gap, so say you've only got a cannon, you don't have torpedoes, you only have your railgun cannon or whatever, your railgun, you want to close the range to medium range. But the enemy's ships has torpedoes, so they're firing torpedoes behind them and they are spinning back and hitting you. So you know, ships firing torpedoes,
yeah.
You've got your PDCs flying, you're trying to get closer. That will be a pilot's role of their systems with their engines plus your systems with your engines. If you have damaged their engine, then they'll start taking minuses on that. Yeah, it does make it fun, and we've had some epic chases. We've had some massive combat. They've gone into one where the Martian Navy was 1 destroyer versus 5 pirates with railguns and torpedoes, and the Martian Navy was defending a transporter, a civilian transporter. So the guys flew in and took it off, so it became 2 versus 5, and just managed to win. It was literally a just, but they got there. And yeah, it worked out very fun. They absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh, sorry, my throat is really starting to take a hammering.
Yeah,
so
that's okay, mate. We'll finish up soon, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll finish this one and then we'll call it. We won't make a character because
yeah, no, we've been going for an hour and a half already. So
yeah.
Eat static. I like that. Eat static. You can adjust your ship's passive active emissions in a way that means it's harder to target. Adding SP to your ship's next electronic warfare test.
Nice. So you roll really high on your ship's sensors. You get a +6. That's adding a +6 to your electronic warfare test, which means they would roll their electronic warfare plus their ship's sensors and would still probably fail.
+6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exploitable terrain. If you're near appropriate exploitable terrain, asteroid field, dust cloud, you can spot a path near or through it that a pilot, whether you or another character, can use protective cover. Immediately trigger either evasive maneuver or follow the leader chase stunt.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. So you can see a lot of these are quite varied for different circumstances, but
yeah, for sure. And then drones again, lots of drones, communication drones, decoy drones, pathfinder. Probes.
My guys got a stealth drone. It was meant to be a communications drone or a searching drone, whatever. It had lots of communications and high cameras. And they decided they saw pirates docking. This is the big one where the pirates were docked with a 1 kilometre long frigate. They loaded the drone up with a bunch of TNT, flew it right next to the airlock in stealth mode so the pirate ship couldn't detect it, waited for the pirates because they had their sensors on and they're in a stealth ship. So they were passive sensors so they could see the heat signatures of the pirates as they boarded the docking clamp, and then they just blew the drone. And as soon as the drone blew, the docking bay went into vacuum and spaced half the pirates. Yeah, they then flew through their ship at high speed through the pirates who were all trying to put their helmets on and gasping for air. I think they may have knocked a bunch out, and those pirates that did manage to get their helmets on and get back to the station, they done a fly pass with their Epstein drive on maximum and basically just burnt the lot of them. I think they managed to capture 2 pirates. One of them died because they had been spaced too long, and the other one is in a coma.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Not much use to anybody.
But that's how my crew solved the thing of the pirates there. They just
blew them all up.
It's the best way to deal with pirates. I think they're pirates themselves, in all honesty.
Yeah, when you start killing people, do you become a pirate? Is that the kind of...
Yeah.
Expert systems for scouting, so you get mapping expert system.
Nice.
Which is add a +1 test using sensors to map and catalog an area. So handy for your surveyor guy.
Yep.
Pathfinding, chart a route through for space, maximum space and safety, get +1. So sensors, searching expert. Oh, so there you go. You can work with your bounty hunter or become a bounty hunter scout to get +1 sensors for looking for specific items, targets. And then scientific analysis expert, which is a +1 sensors again for collection, process, and usable data. Which again would be handy with surveillancing. Yep. So they do work together, these, don't they?
They do really well.
Well, the scout works with all of them, I guess. You would never be a bounty hunter surveyor. I don't think that would work.
I don't think that would work at all. No.
It's like an angry surveyor or something.
Yeah.
Like a surveyor with a gun. So I don't think Han Solo ever did any surveillancing at all.
No. But he did work as a scout for the Republic.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
And we can see
he could fly
here,
through the asteroid belt very quickly.
He could, yes. And time that was dedicated in space, distance, not time.
Parsecs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't watched Solo, so I don't know how they got around the parsec thing. I don't know.
I have watched and I don't remember.
Okay.
There's a distance rather than a time.
Yeah. But here we go. See this Mosquito class light scout? You can see its sensors is up at 4. And it has qualities, drone bays, and maneuverable.
Is that a base of 4 then, does that mean? Is it? So you start on 4 and +1d6 or something? Or?
Okay, so say I'm scanning your ship. I would roll a electronics, technology, intelligence technology test to do it, and I would add the ship's sensors. So I would get a +4 on top of my intelligence, on top of my technology. So if you did
load it up with that... what was that check we were doing just now? There was a +1, 2. Electronic warfare test. Okay.
Yeah.
Damage control test. Okay, no, it wouldn't really work. Oh, no, it's more for experts, isn't it? Expert systems.
It would be, I'm looking at, say,
So if I'm doing a search for something in particular, I'll use my sensors, which is 4, use a +1 because I'm an expert in analysis, expert system, scientific analysis.
Yep.
Plus that would be a 5.
Plus, if you're an expert, you'd get a +1. Plus, say you'd have an intelligence of 2, and you have the actual technologies one. So there's another 4 there. So you're already at a +9 onto your test roll.
And then you just run 1d6 and hope that you get more than the...
Yeah, which at a 14 on a 3d6, you would have to roll a 1, a 1, and a 2 to fail.
Which I could do, I'm sure.
I've seen it before. But this has the largest amount of ships available. As you can see, 4 different ships.
Oh, yeah, true. All got sensors of 4 as well, though.
Yeah.
One's only got... The stealth ship's got two standard crew.
Yep.
Slightly bigger. It's twice the size, that's why. Okay.
But Heavy Scout...
The Heavy's got 3, minimum of 3, 10 minimum on the scouting platform. Oh, that must be a space station almost, isn't it?
It must be.
Because it's a platform. That's kind of weird.
Well, it still has Epstein drives, so I don't think... Here it goes. Beta class platform. Designed to remain in target area for extended periods, a beta class is technically a ship but functions as a mobile platform.
Got you. 85 meters is quite big.
I mean, don't forget that's high. So remember, ships in the Expanse, you've got your engine at the bottom and your layers like that. So it's not like other ships where engine's back here and you're flying that way.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep. So that's 85 meters tall. If you have, I mean, I usually account 15 meters for the engines and the reactor. So a 24 meter ship will basically be 1 deck. Maybe 2 decks if you duck and have very small decks. An 85 meter deck would probably, crew of 10, I would say that would be maybe 6 to 10 decks.
massive, because that's going to have like a mess hall and obviously cabins and or at least places for them to sleep and stuff like that, isn't it?
It would. Well, I'm just wondering. Give me half a jippy. I might be able to add a page in. So if you keep going there, I'm going to show you the ship that I built for my crew. I just have to find it.
Oh, you've just taken away my page.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Let me choose this.
That's
I have
weird.
to remember.
It just loaded. That's very weird.
Lost Mines, War of the Four, Campaign Builders. I'm trying to remember where I put that. We are looking at Expanse. Sorry, I probably should have done it beforehand.
You've somehow broken it though, so I can't even find the page.
No, because it's wanting me to add something else. So what I will do, I will close. You should be able to run it now. If I show the player.
Push it to me. Oh, here you go. Got it. Yep.
Yep. Okay. What I will do is I will create another entry. If I add a page for that. Now, does that break anything?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, good.
Okay, so I'll keep going. So doing the work, so the specialization, you get a requirement of intelligence 2 or higher.
Yep.
So just intelligence or intelligence astronomy. That's all it requires. It doesn't.
That doesn't require that much at all.
No. Novice, you're adept at making the most of your instruments available. You fail. If you fail a technology intelligence test, you can re-roll it, but you must keep the results of the second row. So that's what novice is.
I actually would run that as advantage, but that's just me. I like advantage.
What do you mean advantage?
The way I play advantage, we can't play it on Foundry because Foundry doesn't let you do it. But what I do is you have 2 dice of one color, and instead of one of another, you have 2 dice of a second color. You then roll all 4 dice, and you choose which dice to pull out. Whereas the opposite, disadvantage, is you roll the dice, and I choose which 2 to pull out. So I could do it that you may still pass, but you don't pass with stunts. You could do it that you only just pass, but you get stunts out of it.
Got
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still loading. It's slow. I'm sorry.
It's right. Expert, your astronomical abilities are unrivaled when it comes to making an intelligence astronomy test. You get a +1 bonus result of each drama die. This has increased your total roll and allows you to reach the success threshold faster. So this is for long-term kind of looking at stuff, isn't it?
It would be, yes.
A master, when you perform tests using ship sensors, treat them as if the sensors rating is 1 higher. Okay, so get +1 to sensors, I guess. Is that
1
right?
higher?
No. It says perform tests 1 rating higher. Sensor rating is 1 higher.
So a rating, I'm just trying to find this. Here we go. A rating is, it's finally done. Okay. Select file. Okay, cool. So a rating, when you roll a test, often the stunt dice doesn't just help with creating stunts. It will tell you how well you passed. So say you done flying colors and you rolled a 6 and a 6 and a 1, but the 1 was the stunt dice. That there is 13 plus blah, 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 blah. You passed with 5 or 6 extra. That's technically only just a pass because 1 means you just pulled it off just by the skin of your teeth. Whereas you might have, say the test was 14, you only just got 14, but the stunt dice was 6. Well, that is actually a flying success. This thing is basically putting it up another level.
And what advantage is that? Do you get advantages from finishing it slightly higher?
Sometimes, like say you're trying to unlock a door and you only just succeed. Well, yes, you've opened the door, but you've alerted someone. This thing here would put it up 1 level, so you've alerted the door and you haven't alerted someone. You may have still left evidence that the door's been tampered with, but you don't have guards chasing you.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Reputation, honorifics, can affect the jobs that you offered as well. Okay, so you get reputation as you go through as well.
Yeah, one of my people, this is before the bounty hunters thing came out, had a reputation of badass bounty hunter. That's how Jim joined the crew.
Nice.
They had a bounty put on them. Jim went up to them, managed to board their ship secretly because they were in combat with someone else at the time. So they've got 2 docking bays on it. I'll show you the map soon. They were firing out of another docking bay. Then another ship docked with them and opened up. And there's Jim with his 2 mechanical doggos. And the person who had the badass bounty hunter reputation basically stepped out and said, "Oi, Jim, settle down." And Jim's like, "Oh, I know you. Would you like some help?" And, yeah. And Jim's ship got destroyed in the pursuing combat. He's now joined the crew. And they've still got the bounty, but nobody wants to touch them because of her reputation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it gives you the list from here. So you get Expert Scout, Eyes of Opa, the version of the true Opa honorific that indicates Scout
OPA.
OPA. Okay.
Sorry, I've been saying APA. OPA.
OPA. Oh, available assets at OPA. Who are they then? They're like they're the
Belters.
Like the main corp. Belters. Okay.
Yeah, Belters
having
Alliance.
Completed multiple scouting missions that benefit 1 or more OPA factions. All right. Okay. You can obviously have negative attentions from the inners for doing this as well.
Yep.
Deep Space Dweller represents someone who seems to spend more time in deep space than they do in a planet or asteroid or other stationary bodies. Often well regarded by belters, naval veterans, and career freighter crews. Born on the other variants of this is born on the float, orbit hopper, vacuum veteran.
And you got bad reputation.
Bad reputation as well, yeah. So you have personal. Okay. So opponent knows a character's bad reputation or invokes it as a conflict. They gain +1 bonus on an opposing test against character, particularly in a social encounter. So if you don't like somebody and they know it, you could possibly get a bonus of that.
Yep.
Supportive, when a group of people know about the character's bad reputation and spread that around during an encounter, the character who suffers a +2 increase. Oh no, to the target's number of related tests. That's not great at all. No. Inspire test involves area where the character has a bad reputation, suffers a -1 penalty to the number of stunt points generated on the drama die, which can potentially change a roll from generates 1 SP roll per to none. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And passive. Lastly, the character's bad reputation tends to worsen attitudes and generally makes more people automatically dislike or mistrust them. So people, you walk in and everyone just goes,
"Well, I've got a table. It's in the DM's guide for this book. It basically says you're starting hostilities or basically the starting attitude of people in there. And most of the time, like I think on a 1, they hate you. On a 2, they dislike you. 3, 4, they're neutral. 5, they're, yeah, okay, I like you. And 6, they love you.
Yep.
This would basically drop it down to on a 1, 2, 3, or 4, they despise you. Well, 1 or 2, they'll fight you. 3 or 4, they despise you. 5, they're just ignorant. And 6, yeah, they don't care.
They don't care. Exactly. Yeah, it's probably one of the worst, isn't it? It's nonplus.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then we've got
the churn.
Ignore the churn.
Ignore the churn, yep. And then we have people that you can talk to.
Yeah.
So Martian military contact is Colonel Engel Drayton. Threat level moderate is interesting. So why is that?
It doesn't have critical ratings or NPC levels. What it has, do I have NPCs here? Yeah, it has basically minor is good to face for characters between level 1 and 4. Anything higher than that, and they're basically minions. Moderate is going to be a boss level encounter for people level 1 to 4, but generally good for people level 5 to 7 or whatever.
This is kind of interesting because all of these are moderate, except one which is major.
So moderate, basically these will be bosses for early level games, but once you get into mid-tier games, these guys will just be the same level as you, whereas the major, she will be, she'll still be a boss and hard to manipulate, that sort of stuff.
Baddie as well, isn't it, I guess?
Wanted crime lord, yes, so she'll be a baddie.
Yeah.
It doesn't give stats, but yeah.
I just wonder if the way they talk to you as well when you first start, kind of talk to you like dirt when you first meet them, until you get to level 4, and then you've kind of got a good reputation with them.
What I would do is basically increase their perception or their willpower rolls to compensate. So if you're trying to intimidate them, it would just be harder and harder. So for her, your intimidation test for that would have to be 18 plus.
Yeah, it'd be impossible almost. Yeah,
but
especially at level 2.
Oh, definitely. But say you're level 10, well, that puts you into her level, so that might drop down to 11. So it's still a bit of a test, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you have like a military guy, basically, and then you have an OPA contact, and you have a crime law contact. They're the sorts of people that would... Yeah. There's examples I've given you for people.
So those are the job. Those are the 3 subclasses. What do you think about them?
Well, they're kind of interesting. I like that. Obviously, Bounty Hunters is quite fun because it's just loads of possibilities of getting jobs off it.
Yeah,
and running around as Bounty Hunter. And I feel like the other 2 are the subclasses.
They're more support.
They are more support.
Yeah, right.
You could. Yep. The scout could be good though, as a main character, and he kind of gets help to do stuff almost.
I think he could. Yeah. Especially you team up Scout with the electronics specialist, so yeah.
And there again, the planet surveyor could go, I've got a contract to go and do this surveying of this planet, which is kind of dangerous. I need some help. So he would get a scout and a bounty hunter to help him, possibly.
He would.
So you could do it like that. It would almost be an NPC, the surveyor.
It could be. It could very well could be. There's rules in here on how to generate NPCs for that.
Yeah, so you could create a surveyor, because he's not going to be fighting. He's going to literally turn up and go, hey, I need some help with this planet or this asteroid.
And I mean, if he puts a bounty on whatever he's targeting, say he's got to capture some weird squid, scorpion hybrid.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Say he's got to capture that. He gets the bounty hunter to make that his tangible focus, and the bounty hunter could help him track and lock on with the scout. Yeah, all 3 can work together.
Yeah. I don't feel like the surveyor would be a good, interesting character to play unless... I don't know. It's a weird character, isn't it? Why would you play it? Unless it was a secondary part, I guess. And it'd be like a bit of almost a side.
Yeah, a secondary specialist. Maybe a surveyor hacker type. Or surveyor scientist. So you go in. Cyber person, a cyber doc.
A cyber surveyor?
Cyber surveyor. So you basically go onto planets looking for protomolecules or other drugs to try and find a way to get your cyber enhancements even better. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I think it is the weakest of the 3. The scout seems to be the most versatile, whereas the bounty hunter does seem to be the most powerful.
Yeah, which makes... Well, if you're looking at powerful as in fighting stuff, then yeah, but the scout is quite powerful in different ways.
Yeah.
Probably more interesting character to play the scout. Because you could almost go off on your own and do things, and you're still kind of be able to handle your stuff.
Sort of... The whole point of it, though, is teamwork.
It's teamwork, yeah. And this is definitely what you'd end up with these.
Right.
Bounty Hunter Scout would be a good character.
I think it would.
That would be quite powerful.
I really do think it would, yeah. Right, I do have one quick thing to show you. We're almost out of time. Show players.
Drug extraction. We've got some first-time chatters in the area of my
I only have my son who has mentioned Starfield because we've mentioned it so often.
Starfield.
So this is the Argonaut. This is the ship that I've got for the crew. You can see category large. Drives are Epstein and thrusters. Length is 52 meters. 4 crew minimum, which are the 4 party members, but it can handle 12 crew. It prefers close range. It does have torpedo tubes, which are forward firing only, but it has full range point defense. Sorry, I'm not on that. There we go. Now the viewers can see it as well. Did that pop up on your one, by the way?
Yeah, I've got it up. Yep,
Sweet.
I'm reading along.
We can see qualities are drone bay, hull plating, sensor package. So their sensors are at 2. Sensor scrambler, because it is more a stealth ship, and stealth. So sensor scrambler, when an enemy is within medium or close range, they suffer a -1 to all sensor tests, which is pretty good. They've used that to their advantage a lot. And then stealth, when the ship has an energy absorbing surface. I basically modeled this off the ship from Mass Effect. So the engine core is basically got massive radiators to absorb all the heat it generates, and it's got a little shield thing to kind of hide as much of the engine plume as possible. However, it is yes.
So I've just got a question from the Twitch Badass Rocket saying, can you explain what you're doing this is? I know at the beginning we kind of explained.
Because Green Ronin have sent me the latest one, which was the Scout. They sent it 2 weeks ago to say, hey, next week this has been released. Do you want to do a podcast on it? Unfortunately, it was the week that we had planned not to have the podcast running. So I've put it off for a week, and then I was crook last week. You can probably tell I'm still crook now.
So this is all based on I guess it's based on the Fantasy Age.
It is. It's called RPG. The Expanse, which uses the Modern Age rules. It's exactly the same as Modern Age. They have just changed a little bit. They've added space combat. They've added races, so you can be Earther, Belter, or Martian, which you're still human. All it depends is the gravity you can handle.
So we've been doing this for a little bit of time now, working with Green Ronin, doing different sorts of adventures as well, because they have all sorts of stuff they do. So we were doing Cthulhu a few weeks ago, and we've done kind of
the Fantasy Age set 1 and 2
Age stuff.
Yep. Modern Age, there's Cyberpunk kind of Splice
stuff.
Yep. They have a system. It started off with Dragon Age, which was basically based off the Dragon Age computer games. And it was an amazing RPG. I fell in love with it. We moved our group from AD&D 2nd edition to Dragon Age, and then they stopped producing that. I think EA pulled the license or something like that. So they had the IP for the Age system, which they renamed. Instead of Dragon Age, it was Age, as an adventure game engine. Still use 3D6, still uses stunts, all that sort of stuff. And they've got the standard fantasy, which has the standard fantasy races and classes and that sort of thing. But they have made a new version called Modern Age, which doesn't have any races, doesn't have any classes. You can build pretty much any character you want. And from there, they've got Modern Age, they've got the Book of Lazarus, which is based off the Lazarus comic book series. Highly recommended, very good. They've got the Cyberpunk Splice, which is basically Cyberpunk. Which is quite cool. It is very cool. They also have Shadowrun version, because they have the fantasy races there if you want to run Shadowrun. They've got the Call of Cthulhu version, which is Cthulhu Awakens. They've got the Expanse, which they got the IP for, so that deals with all the space combat, and space combat is amazing in this game. We absolutely love it.
And you can play it, because we play it on the Foundry virtual desktop, but you also play it actual physically in front of people as well.
Oh yeah.
You can play either way, which is kind of
cool. Can actually, if you go to their website, you can download, you can buy physical dice, the Expanse dice, and my players actually loved this system so much they went and bought themselves dice from the Green Ronin store. So one was a Belter, so she bought Belter dice.
That's very cool.
I'll see if I can bring it up on my thing there.
I'm just bringing it up on mine, actually.
TTRPG. So I will share it with you if I can, if it loads quick enough. So basically go greenronin.com and then go to shop.
GreenRoninStore.com, I guess.
GreenRoninStore.com. Yep. If you go for departments and click on Expanse RPG, you can see everything from the Expanse here. So these are the core rule books, which we're working off the PDFs. The Beyond the Rings, which gave us the rules for the planetary makeup and that sort of stuff. Ships of the Expanse gives us heaps of different ships and all sorts of stuff like that. You've got a couple of cool little things, the Game Master's Kit, different missions, which I've they graciously gave me the PDFs for all of that. You've got up there the bounty hunters, different stuff like there, and then you got Expanse RPG dice stock.
So what's in the quick start PDF?
That is free to download. It gives you...
So if you download that and have a look and have a nosy at it, you can.
Yeah, it basically gives you a couple of... it gives you all the rules to create tier 1 to 3 characters, as well as the basic combat stunts and exploration stunts, and a little submission that you get to play. And it's 100% free. So if you want to try it, load it up and try it.
If you're wondering how it works, we do this. If you go to, I'll put a link in the chat for youtube.com/hippohq. Yep. Because all the videos we've been doing for the last months now, I guess.
We started in about January this year.
Oh, January. Okay, for this year then. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a whole bunch of ones we've done, and it includes making characters and actually playing a game as well.
Yeah.
Playing a story. So it's kind of cool.
So we actually do have a competition. We didn't run it last week because there were no comments.
We weren't here.
But we are giving away a free copy of the Dragon Age PDF.
Maybe we should give it to Badass Rockets.
You reckon? I'm happy with that.
If you're keen, if you want an RPG for Dragon Age,
yeah,
for the original one they did.
So I'll bring that back up on the store department. We go to Dragon Age RPG. So this is the Dragon Age. This PDF here, which is $29.99, Green Ronin have actually given me 3 copies to give away to our listeners.
What should he do? What's the best way of contacting us?
You can either make a comment with your details on the video, either the Lee's Twitch or on my YouTube video, or you can contact us through the Discord. So I will put the Discord into the chat. Actually, I don't have access to your chat.
No, if you put it out, I'll put it somewhere. What are you going to use?
I'll put it, watch the video on YouTube, and I will put it as part of the comments.
He'll join the Discord, he said. He'll join the Discord.
Yeah,
so
okay.
What's your Discord called? It's just called Hippo HQ, isn't it?
I believe it is. Hippo Entertainment Discord. So search for Hippo Entertainment. It's a teddy bear. I don't know why it's a teddy bear.
I thought that was on purpose. That's funny.
I didn't do that. I believe the guy that's running, your Discord with the Xbox cast, Noel, I think he may have done it as a joke, and I never got around to fixing it.
Do you have an invite for it? Do you have any invite shortcuts?
Let me generate one for him. Let's see. How does one generate an invite these days? Invite people. So... or send, refer a friend. No, that's not. That's invite someone specifically. I can't remember how to.
There you go. I've got one in the chat.
Okay, cool.
I've just mate. I've got it. I've got power. I think somehow I had power to do it. So.
Yes.
And he's in.
Oh, and he's in already. Look at that. Badass rocket. So just comment. Message me, and I can see you're already typing.
Yeah. So just flick a message in his chat. In his private Discord chat.
Sweet, and I will DM you a code which you can download this for free. So anyway, back to our ship. So that's the front page of the Argonaut. If we scroll down, I've done a level-by-level breakdown. So each square is a meter, and you can tell the height, the length, the width, all that sort of stuff. So we got the main flight deck, that there is sort of a sub-level system, and then you can go underneath it, and that's the CIC. You can see the stairs up to the main flight deck, and this is where we have the first layer of PDCs as well as the main lift through the spine of the ship. We go down to the galley. This is quite a fancy galley. They have updated it. So it has on the right-hand side a big TV. They have all of the food and plants for oxygen creating up the top, and then cooking stations there, as well as a big table with cards and board games on it. Then we have 3 levels of crew quarters. This is why they can hold 12. So level 1 is obviously the 4 main players, and then decks, the other 3 decks. 2 decks, is it? Yes, deck 5 and deck 6 has One has my wife's minion on it, Nathaniel, I believe he is. And then the other one has, I believe, Bounty Hunter Jim is there, and he has his doggos with him. So we've got that. We've then got this one here is the Torpedo Controls Center, as well as the other PDCs. And this is, what is this deck?
Medical storage.
Medical storage, yes.
Yeah, medical beds. There's all sorts of stuff in there.
There is. So that's the medical bay. Did I not put? I didn't put the name of this level. That's sad of me. I'll have to update it.
Yeah.
Then deck 8 is the upper cargo hold, so that's general supplies. Deck 9 is the lower cargo hold, so those things up the top are where you have your mech bays. They've got 8 pods, which can be lowered to the low deck beneath, which is main engineering and the repair. That is also the main docking. So like I said, they've got docking on 2 different sides. And that is the main place where they have the armory, and that's the main launcher control, or the automated control system for the torpedoes. So you have to come through this part here, which is, you can see the little tiny button there, which secured control, climb over the torpedoes, up the mechanical launcher, the automated launcher, and into a torpedo tube in order to fire yourself out a torpedo.
That can happen though. Sometimes
I can see it happen all the time. It's a hazard, and the party have noticed it quite a lot.
Have they put any signs up saying please do not climb in here?
Well, they put a passcode on the computer, and it didn't help.
Oh,
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Then they have down on the next one, this is the machine shop. So this is where they take their battle suits and they do all the repair work. This is also drone control and the manufacturing bay, and the final level of PDC control, because each PDC can be entered into the ship and repaired manually. And then we go down to the final deck, which is main engineering, and that's the reactor core. And that's where my wife spends most of her time repairing in there.
Running around, swearing at them, stop getting shot.
So this is the ship. This is how ship layouts work in the Expanse.
Cool.
Because you can see there's,
So did you get this layout from somewhere, did you?
No, I made this myself.
Oh, okay. There's no guides for it, or there's guides for it, and you just kind of...
I based it off the ships that they have in Ships of the Expanse, with the actual layout as well as the mechanics of how ships work in the Expanse. But no, this is all my own creation.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, you did have a basic kind of...
A basic thing of how ships work. So, engine
cool.
down here, then you've got your engine bay and reactor, then you've got usually cargo, that sort of stuff. Then next is living, then command and control. But yeah, that is a ship.
It's quite cool.
Yes.
It's a ship.
It's a ship.
Nice.
They've spent plenty of time in there. They've upgraded it. Last thing, they had the Martian Navy. They kind of pissed the Martian Navy off, and they had a virus put in it, which basically controlled it, and they're trying to purge the system of the Martian virus. They've got control of the systems controlling life support and weapons, but the Martians have access to their sensors and to their engines. Mainly they pissed the wrong person off.
Yep. What's going to happen with those lot?
It is indeed. Yeah. So yeah, that is the Expanse. And that is the subclasses for the Expanse.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. I like it. I do prefer playing this one in person because I like playing with little ships, which is why we haven't really focused on it in this one. And it is a bit hard.
No, but we need to do a Starfield one. We need to do a Starfield one.
Well, yeah, we can. I think this system would work perfect for Starfield.
Yeah.
Especially with the scouts, the surveyor, that sort of stuff. I mean, the bounty hunter had the same terminology used for lockpicks as Starfield has.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, no gameplay this time. This is all just a look at new stuff.
A couple hours of going through it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, but I like it. I think we might I'll put the stuff in for some Expanse, and we can try some ship combat next. How does that sound?
That sounds awesome.
Sweet. Oh, well, thank you everyone for watching. My throat is absolutely killing me.
This is done. Yep.
Yep, it is done. I'm probably looking redder and redder on camera. So thank you for taking over a bit there, Lee.
That's all right. I can do talking.
Yes, you're good at talking. You are very good at talking. Yeah, and the guy, yep, thanks for the invites.
Yeah, so Badass Rockets has messaged me. So,
yes.
Yeah, he actually called himself Badass Rockets on YouTube, just so, because there's so many Badass Rockets around.
Nice.
That
So I will message you. I'm just putting something in the chat, but I will message you with a code where you can download the Dragon Age for free. And you can have a look at how the age system works.
Hit us up if you've got questions. Or actually, Paul, because I know nothing really. I'm just a face.
I think you know a lot about RPGs. I mean, you know what Thaco means. How many people know what Thaco means?
Because I'm old.
Yeah, I know. Just think, we were still playing with Thaco back in 2005.
Wow, okay.
Maybe even more, 2007, I think we stopped.
See, Thaco. I stopped playing at the end of probably 98. I didn't really play after that much. I left town, so yeah.
Yeah.
Which itself was 25 years ago, so that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still. Sweet. So thank you very much for everyone watching, and we will catch you next week. I'm still trying to get Malcolm Shepherd on the chat. I'm hoping to have him on soon. It just depends on what system we play.
Expanse. When he want to show off his new system?
He may want to show off the Cthulhu one, yeah. Maybe we don't actually play one, we just interview him.
Yeah, I like the idea of playing because it's more relaxed.
Yeah, true.
I feel like it would just relax a bit more.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of playing, you can ask questions as you come up with them. Like, what is this rule? Why did you think of this rule? Why does this big monster keep killing me? You know, sort of stuff.
Well, that's because the DM's a dick.
Well, yeah, I don't want to say that. I was going to blame the developer first, but hey.
Nah, blame the DM. I always do.
Blame the DM. Yeah, it's fair enough. Yeah.
Sweet. So I'm going to stop the stream there.